Pretty shocking to hear that Bronny James, just 18 years old, the son of NBA star LeBron James, hospitalized after suffering cardiac arrest during basketball practice at USC. That, of course, is where he'll be an incoming freshman this year. Well, Dr. Kohli joins us now. Let's first talk about what we do and maybe don't know at this point.
You know, there's so much we don't know. What we do know, thankfully, is that he's out of the intensive care unit just one day after his cardiac arrest, which confers a really excellent prognosis. So that's a positive sign. That means there's probably not significant damage to his organs. He's stable. He's not requiring any drips. It also means they probably did not cool him. So after somebody has a cardiac arrest, to protect the brain, sometimes we initiate a hypothermic protocol. We cool their body down to sort of prevent the bad humors from going up to the brain.
Slow everything down.
That's right. But in cases where you don't lose circulation for a long period of time, sometimes we defer that. So the fact that they probably didn't cool him because he would still be in the intensive care unit is also a good sign. We don't know if he got shocked when he was out in the field.
Yeah, you wonder.
Right. But I'm very optimistic that he had return of circulation relatively quickly. And the biggest one that we don't know is what caused this cardiac arrest.
Well, and that's what we were asking about. I mean, we were just discussing, I mean, you would think that your children, you put them through every test. And I mean, many people come up with a heart murmur here and there, but these are people of significant means. So how could something like this not be caught?
I think the challenge is really that the experts are divided on how we should be screening our athletes. Really, what should we be doing? Now, pretty much everyone agrees we should do what's called a history and physical. You talk to them, see if they have a family history, listen to see if they have a murmur or not, because that could obviously be a sign of structural heart disease. Where the conflict kind of comes in is whether or not we should do an electrocardiogram or EKG or ECG, which is an electrical map of the heart that picks up either structural abnormalities or electrical abnormalities as manifest on the EKG. So the International Olympics Committee, for example, says every athlete should get one. On the other hand, the American Heart Association and the American College of Cardiology say it's probably not ethical, it's too expensive to initiate on a population level, and you may get false positives and false negatives.
So, I mean, it just shocked me, and I'm sure everyone, this is a very healthy, externally, very healthy 18-year-old. 18-year-olds in general don't suffer cardiac arrest at all very often, right?
Right. So when we see cardiac arrest in the young people, it's generally linked to something either congenital or something inherited, or sort of the right perfect storm of circumstances that occurs. And so the way to think about it is sort of break it down into three components. It's either the pump, you know, the heart is a pump, so something is structurally wrong with the pump. It's either too weak or it's too thick. The blood is not moving out of it normally. So that's kind of one category. The second is the electricity. Those are the arrhythmias. Those are people that are born with long QT, short QT, some sort of predisposition to the way the electricity either triggers or resets in the heart that sets them up to have a cardiac arrest. And the third is they're not getting enough blood flow to the heart itself. So is the plumbing, the blood vessels, that are supplying blood flow, are they kind of mismatched? Now, in older people, that would be from blockages or heart disease, but in younger, it's usually congenital.
Does that external picture of a young man tell you much at all? Like, because he's going to look like very fit. His father's extraordinarily fit and has been for a long time. Is that worth much when you're evaluating someone's heart?
Not at all. And that's why we need to look. We need to change the way we're screening our athletes, in my opinion. 1 out of 50,000 to 1 out of 80,000 are actually going to die from having their cardiac arrest, and it may end up even being more. Now, thankfully, most of the ones that we've witnessed, at least recently, have been resuscitated. Like Damar Hamlin, they've done really, really well. And that, I think, really speaks to the fact that knowing good quality CPR can be the difference between life and death. But I think it begs a bigger question for us in the medical field and as cardiologists, that should we be smarter in anticipating this kind of trouble rather than being reactive?
This will certainly raise awareness again.
It will.
We will hopefully, to some extent, learn more about what in fact did happen and how Bronny's doing. But thanks for running by some of what we do know at this point and what we need to know as well. Thanks,
We'll
Dr.
probably be
Kohli.
tapping in when we learn more to you again. Thank you, Dr. Kohli.